Did you send your child off to college this fall? You may have overlooked one important tool necessary in an emergency situation. Not having a medical power of attorney for your child can create unnecessary burdens in a time of crisis. Matt Osborne with Desert Schools Financial Services is here to explain the importance of this document. Let's start with the basics.
All right.
What is a medical power of attorney?
Well, it's a document that names an agent for yourself, and if you're unconscious in the hospital, to be able to make medical decisions for yourself.
Okay, so it's an important document
Absolutely.
that we need, and it's one that I have to be honest with you, I didn't even realize some of the rules and stipulations that could happen if you don't have one. So how do we establish a power of attorney?
Well, it's a form that you fill out, and a lot of people would go on the internet and maybe do a search, and there's lots of resources to prepare documents, but I think it's important that you maybe spend a few dollars to go over that with a professional, because you want to make sure that your document is up to date with the latest information and it has the proper what we call information releases in the document.
Okay, so this is what we want parents, this is for the parents now.
Yes.
This is what we need to hear. When do our parental rights diminish if we have a child?
Well, the magic age is 18. When
Okay.
a child turns 18, by state statute, they're entitled to health care privacy for their information. And so that means that as a parent, when your child turns 18, you no longer have the right to request information without the proper release from your child.
And this is what's mind-blowing. You could still be paying the bills for
That's
that
right.
child. That
Absolutely.
child may still be under your roof, but you don't have any rights to their medical information. And sometimes that can be tough for families, right?
Yeah, like you said, even though you're paying the insurance and the bills,
Yeah.
you may be shut out of that process. So we recently had an example where there was an employee who was involved in a very bad car accident, and she was 23 at the time, living with mom and dad, and they had to induce a medical coma to reduce the swelling on her brain. And since she didn't have those forms in place, mom and dad were restricted from obtaining the information at the hospital about her condition.
So who becomes her voice then?
Well, at that point in time, the doctors still reasonably believed she was going to live, so the doctors and the medical professionals have taken over, and they're doing all the life-sustaining treatment possible.
And she was a single woman, so she didn't have a spouse, and it was just really her mom and dad
That's right.
who were there, but not all the way there because
Right.
they didn't have the medical power of attorney.
And you want to have that specific document to give yourself that information so that you can obtain information from the hospital, because you might want a second opinion from a second or a third doctor in a crisis.
And so why are parental rights limited?
Well, it has to do with the HIPAA laws, and everybody knows about HIPAA, or they've heard
Right.
about it, but it's really a health information privacy law that was established back in the 90s by our government. And the good part about that law is it restricts medical professionals from sharing your information with just anybody. But the bad part about the law is that it restricts information from your loved ones.
Yeah, and we're not just talking, I mean, I know we're specifically talking about college students today,
Yes.
but this is even if you have an elderly parent
Or even your spouse.
Okay.
Your spouse has to have those powers in the document too to make decisions for you.
How easy is it for our viewers to get a power of attorney, and how should we go about that?
Yeah, it's a simple form. I would recommend that you work with a document preparation specialist or even an attorney to get those documents prepared so that they can walk you through the documents. Sometimes there's a lot of legalese in them,
Yeah.
and it's better if you have a professional to walk you through exactly
And this is
what it
different than
says.
a will. It's
Absolutely.
not a will.
That's
This
right.
is just giving you medical control.
Right. This is the document that protects you while you're still alive versus
Right.
the will speaks about what happens when you've passed away.
And you'll do that for us. You'll give us all
Absolutely.
that consultation. All right, for more information about a medical power of attorney, you can reach Desert Schools Financial Services. The number's on your screen, 602-336-5531. You can also visit them online at desertschoolsfs.org.